All right, today we are diving deep into a really powerful idea, social architecture. And we're going to talk about a concept for protecting your peace that I call the velvet rope. So let's just start with this question right here, because we're so quick to blame all the external chaos for why we feel so stressed out. But what if the problem is actually a lot closer? What if it's really about who has a VIP pass to your time, your energy, and most importantly, your attention? If that question hit home, then this probably sounds familiar. That feeling of being totally drained after talking to certain people, or how your entire mood can just flip depending on who's in the room. This isn't some kind of personal failure, okay? It's a huge red flag that your social life has an open door policy, and that comes with a serious hidden cost. All because your access is just, well, it's too open. Okay, so let's put a name to this problem. Let's talk about all that invisible work that is just sucking our energy dry day in and day out. This has a name, and it's called emotional labor. The sociologist Arlie Hochschild came up with it, and it's basically all the unseen effort you put into managing your own feelings just to make other people feel comfortable. You know what I'm talking about. It's saying yes to plans you know are going to wipe you out just to avoid conflict. It's that game face you have to wear, and man, is it exhausting. And this slide right here, it just visualizes that gap perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you've got your real, authentic feeling. You're irritated, you're bored, you're anxious. And on the right, the social performance, the polite smile. Constantly having to bridge that gap, that is work. Every single time you fake enthusiasm or swallow your frustration, you're spending a little bit of your energy. And that energy is not unlimited. And get this, it's not just our own emotions we're managing. We are also super susceptible to something called emotional contagion. I mean, think about it. How fast can one person's bad mood just tank the vibe of an entire room? We subconsciously start to copy and even internalize the feelings of the people around us. So if your circle is full of negativity, you're not just dealing with it, you're actually absorbing it. So we've diagnosed the problem. Now, how in the world do we fix it? Well, this is where we get to a really powerful shift in mindset. You have to stop being just a resident in your social world and start being its architect. And the framework for this is called social architecture. It's this incredible idea that you can consciously, intentionally design your social environment, your relationships, your interactions, all of it, to get a specific outcome. And for us, that outcome is peace, focus, and energy that actually lasts. And here is the absolute key to all of this. Most of us never even think to design our social structure. We just sort of fall into it. We say yes to every request, we text back instantly, we keep connections going out of pure habit or obligation. We're basically living in a social house that we didn't consciously build. But this is exactly where we start to take back control. Which brings us to the core metaphor of this whole thing, the velvet rope principle. Now, this is not about being elitist or mean. It's about realizing that being unbothered isn't about ignoring people. It's about carefully curating who gets access to your most premium assets, your time, your attention, and your energy. And this image right here illustrates why this is so critical. Our brains, literally, are not built for an infinite number of social connections. We have a hardwired biological limit on how many meaningful relationships we can actually handle. It's like a computer that only has so much RAM. Our social brain has a cap. And this idea has a name. It's called Dunbar's number. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar figured out that based on the size of our brain, there's a cognitive limit to how many stable relationships we can juggle. The simple truth is, we just do not have the mental or emotional bandwidth for everyone. So, that upper limit, it's about 150 people. This is your entire tribe, the absolute total number of connections you can really handle. But inside this larger group, the circles get way, way tighter. And this is where you start to create those different levels of access. Zooming in a bit, we can maintain about 50 casual friendships. These are the colleagues you like or friends you might see at a party. There's a connection there, but it's not super deep, and that's okay. It's an important layer. But from there, look at this. The circle shrinks a lot, down to just 15 close friends. These are the people you really confide in, the ones you trust with the bigger stuff in your life. The access here is much more exclusive. And then, right at the very core, your innermost circle, there are only about 5 slots. 5. These are the people you're calling in a crisis at 3 in the morning. So when you truly realize you only have 5 seats at your most intimate table, the question becomes impossible to ignore. Who really, truly deserves to be there? Okay, so understanding our limits is one thing, but actually enforcing them, that's a whole different ballgame. And that brings us to the practical side of things, learning how to use the single most powerful tool in social architecture, the word no. And saying no isn't just about willpower. It's an actual cognitive function called intentional inhibition. It's like your brain's executive power to veto a short-term impulse, like, say, agreeing to a plan you know will drain you, in favor of a long-term goal, like protecting your peace. It's a mental superpower that we all have. So where do we use this superpower? Well, we can set boundaries in a few really key areas. Time boundaries, that means you are not on call 24/7. Emotional boundaries, that means you don't have to carry the weight of everyone else's problems. And digital boundaries, that means you decide when and how you engage online. All right, let's make this super practical. Here are 4 simple things you can literally start doing this week. 1, limit one interaction. Just pick one person who consistently drains you and reduce your time with them. 2, delay one response. You don't have to be instantly available. Train people that you're not always on call. 3, say one intentional no. Choose your energy over their approval. And 4, create distance. You don't need a big, dramatic confrontation. Sometimes just quietly stepping back is the most powerful boundary of all. And this all leads us to the final, and I think most important, shift. It's time to stop asking, how do I deal with all these people? And start asking, who actually deserves access to me? It's a powerful move from defense to offense, in a good way. Just look at this comparison. The old mindset is totally defensive, right? You're constantly protecting your energy, reacting to problems as they pop up, and feeling guilty about it. The new mindset is intentional. You value your energy. You treat it like a luxury item. You proactively curate your circle, and you feel empowered by the choices you're making. The Stoic philosopher Seneca absolutely nailed this 2,000 years ago. Your social circle should be a place where everyone makes each other better. It's not a free-for-all, it's a curated space. You do not need to be accessible to everyone to be respected. In fact, it's the opposite. You need to be selective. Because the moment you put that velvet rope up in your life, you stop just protecting your energy and you finally start valuing it. So, I'll leave you with this. Take a second and really ask yourself, who deserves a place behind your velvet rope?